The leaks for chapter 332 might be the best in a while, as in this chapter, we see Blue Lock magically on the counterattack, and we also get a lot of insight into Hugo and Isagi and their ideals, and then the ending is just insane. But that's far from everything, but the rest, I will keep a secret, so as not to waste any time. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the chapter starts off with the text saying, "The destiny shown by Hugo, an inexperienced philosophy, sparks a fire in Japan." After that, we start pretty obviously where we left off, as we have just seen Hugo kind of dog-walking Isagi, and taking the ball from him. As he is starting to run away from our poster boy, he asks Isagi to tell him if he believes in destiny. Isagi doesn't seem to be in the mood to be talking about stuff like that, as he looks pretty pissed off. But Hugo then finishes the conversation for him, as he says that it's not a fantasy, nor is it spiritual. Hugo ends it with a pretty cold comment, as he says that destiny has logic. After that, we see that Hugo is far from stopping dominating on the field, as he fires off an insane pass up on the pitch. The commentator screams out, "Here goes France's Hugo, straight to the front line." It's a counter pass. Karasu sees this, and right away, notices that they are kind of in a bad spot, since the ball is slowly but surely going to Loki. However, just in the last second, the goat, the broccoli head, Nico comes and says that it's right here, and I'm a bit unsure whether he calls Loki or Hugo Mr. Prodigy, but I'm guessing Loki. But anyway, what's important is that Nico took control of the ball. Nico then looks serious as he says that, for when Isagi gets the ball stolen, the most dangerous vermin is right here. After that, I'm not gonna lie, but Loki is kind of funny, as he just says, "Oops," after having lost the ball. It really sounds like he doesn't take this match seriously at all. Anyway, Isagi then screams out for Nico as he tells him good job, and we even see Hugo, who says that it wasn't bad. And to just lightly speak on it, I was super happy to see our boy Nico having Isagi's back here. With that, Nico wastes no second at all, as he clears the ball in an instant, and that means that he shoots the ball high up on the field. With that, we get into his mind, where he says that when Isagi's shot is blocked and countered, Blue Lock will change its attacking pattern, explaining that if their calculated team blueprint is being read, then they will have to use unpredictable individual skills as a poison stinger. After that, it looks like the ball went to someone, but who is the question? Well, Nico tells someone to punch a hole through them, and calls the player Mr. Hornet, so I know that you have guessed it now, and it's Bachira who says that he is on it. And after that, he completely embarrasses one of the France players by doing an insane dribble behind him. Just then, France's right wing, also called Camus, says that here he comes, asking if he wants to have some expectations. Now it was kinda interesting here, since Camus said that here comes number 8, and it sounds like the France team already was ready for Bachira, or made some sort of plan against him. However, Bachira just looks more fired up than ever before as he says sting towards Camus. And with that, both of them go into a furious duel, where it looked like Bachira was leaving him in the dust. But then we see Camus putting his hand on Bachira's chest, and honestly being able to keep up with Bachira. We see that Bachira is pretty annoyed by this, and he says that Camus is changing his steps to match his dribbling tempo and keeping up with him, explaining that he's definitely a man marked specifically for him, which I guess confirms that they had him there to stop Bachira. Camus then looks super fierce as he says that he has been preparing for this. Bachira, who still actually has a smile on his face, tells Camus that he is annoying, and that in that case, he tells Chigiri to switch as he passes the ball over to him. And if you guys know me, then you know that I love Chigiri chapters, so this is already peak for me. Anyway, Bachira tells him to go, and Chigiri looks serious as he says that he's got it, and says that he will use his speed as the breakthrough. Hey, it's Natsu, mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? But just then, we see someone else right by him. Yeah, I know, right? By the speedster Chigiri, and it isn't even Loki, but someone called Leiden, who asks Chigiri if it really is so. Leiden starts to get super close as he says that he won't let him go, telling him that it's impossible for him to escape. Chigiri just looks over at him, and can't believe his eyes as he says that this guy is insanely fast. Leiden, who we learn is the left wing, asks Chigiri if he can accompany him. After that, we finally get into Isagi's brain for him to cook up a storm, as he says that he is reacting to Chigiri's solo breakthrough with speed and a man mark. He then thinks about Bachira and the read on him, saying that everyone in Blue Lock had prepared a backup plan. He looks serious as he says that France is foreseeing it one step further ahead through logic, explaining that everything that they do is one step behind them. After that, mind you guys, mid-game, Hugo just casually comes and puts his hand on Isagi's back and tells him that as for destiny, it is his aptitude, physique, personality, and talent. Those basic capabilities are already decided the moment that he is born into this world, saying that in other words, all human beings by birth are not equal. which is a really harsh thing to say, but it really is the truth. Hugo continues to yap. Meanwhile, we legitimately see both Chigiri and Bachira struggling on the pitch. Anyway, Hugo says that for each of those individuals, there is a suitable way to live. A horse can run fast, and a bird can fly in the sky, telling Isagi that life should be lived in its natural state, and yet only humans are unnatural. Hugo tells Isagi that if he saw a lion trying to fly in the sky, anyone would think that he is an idiot, right? That's why it's better to live more naturally. That is what it means to live out one's destiny. Correctly at a genetic level, he continues and says that if everyone lived out their aptitudes more as they truly are, then it would become a world where everyone can happily and efficiently fulfill their lives. He says that his philosophy is that chasing wishes that won't come true only continues to give birth to useless conflict and despair, saying that inflating an ego that is beyond one's station. You see, when it comes to things you aren't good at, there's no way that you can beat someone who is naturally gifted at them, right? He tells Isagi that he isn't saying that he shouldn't dream, but that he is saying that he should dream a dream that fits his station. After that, Hugo starts to look super menacing, as his eyes just go pure dark, and his aura is really giving off a villain vibe, as he tells Isagi that this is the theory of suitable destiny. And honestly, I really liked what Hugo said. I do think that some things were off. However, for the most part, bro was kind of spitting. However, we then see Isagi, who isn't on the same wavelength as Hugo, as he looks back at him and looks like he wants to do nothing but destroy him, as he has his metavision eyes out and looks at him furiously while telling him what's wrong. Isagi says that he doesn't have the talent of a striker, Hugo says, and that in terms of performance, he is more suited to be a midfielder. He explains to Hugo that he already knows all that and that he knows how much that really hurts. Hugo just looks at him and tells him that if that's the case, then why does he live in such a mismatch of aptitude? By the way, while this is happening, we do see Isagi breaking away from Hugo, and we also see Chigiri passing the ball to our hero, who is going towards it. After that, he actually gets the ball with little to no issues. He does have Hugo behind him, but Isagi still uses all of his puzzle pieces he can and manages to get off a pass. And while he does so, he tells Hugo that destiny moves egoistically, and that he is telling him to rewrite it, which is so hard, but he explains that it's because this is what he has learned in Blue Lock. After that, you might wonder who Isagi's pass is going towards. Well, who else would it be if not the other number 1 Itoshi Rin, who tells Isagi super coldly to leave it to him. Rin gets the ball and traps it flawlessly like always, as he says that next, he is going to destroy destiny itself. And guys, seriously, did you hear that? That line, like it's so hard, but just then, someone just has to come and ruin the party for them. And it's Loki who comes by and says that, because it's not going to change in such a simple battle, saying that after all it's still destiny, right? Rin just looks mad towards Loki, as he asks him who cares, and Loki just has a bright smile towards Rin, and honestly, like Loki feels like such a rage baiter. It feels like he is just genuinely having a good time so far, and isn't trying his best at all, but that's just what I think. Anyway, the ending text says, Itoshi Rin versus the Ultimate Trail, the start of an overwhelmingly shocking one. Also, the next chapter will be called Natural Born, and honestly, I feel like that just screams that it will be about Loki, since, well, his whole thing, at least for Isagi, is that Loki was just born fast. Anyway, after that I can also tell you guys that there is no break, which is just amazing, like for real, because this week I don't know why, but this chapter really made my fire for Blue Lock light up a bit again. It might be because Blue Lock is on the attack or something. But this is fire. Also, I'm just gonna say it out right now. I do feel like a goal for Blue Lock is coming in the next few chapters. This is a big statement for sure. However, I do feel like Rin might not be able to beat Loki himself and might get help and then someone scores. Alright, let's get to talking about these leaks. Now first off, I just want to say thank you to the authors. They finally gave us some side characters who aren't just useless and there for the plot. Like, while Camus and Leiden might not look the most interesting, their abilities make up for it, since Camus is a furious man-marker who can keep up with the goat Bachira, and Leiden isn't anything to sneeze at either, as it looked like he was able to catch up to Chigiri, Blue Lock's fastest player. Because imagine France then, they would have 2 insane speedsters with both Loki and Leiden. Like, if they were to get to attack just the 2 of them, I bet that it would look insane. Also, I can't wait for Isagi to completely destroy Hugo. It's not like I have anything against Hugo. However, I do feel like Isagi has the ability to just crush all of Hugo's ideals and prove that destiny doesn't determine everything since, well, like Isagi said, he does know that for sure since he has been battling in Blue Lock for ages. Anyway, please let me know your thoughts about this week's leaks because if you ask me, then they were straight fire, but I would love to hear it from you guys. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.